Hey guys, in this video, we're gonna be talking about vinyl and carpet spray dye and how this is really an important product for any detailer who's seeing a lot of different types of vehicles on a daily basis. So you might be thinking, what do you mean like a carpet dye or a spray dye? Well, I actually sprayed a little bit on this carpet just to show you guys exactly what this looks like. But this is a tan carpet. Obviously, the spray dye here is black, so you can see the contrast of what this looks like. But this is a product from Automagic. Now, this particular type of product is one that can be used, like it says, on vinyl or on carpet, but where this is used is generally on darker colored carpets, and specifically black carpets that have been kind of scuffed, matted down, discolored from certain staining, and carpets that really need to be kind of uniform again. Now I want to show you guys what this looks like coming out of the can before we use it on an actual vehicle that we've got in the garage today. This is what it looks like. You can see I can stay in one spot, do kind of a lighter streak. I can do a really dark streak if I stay in that same spot a bunch. So this is what the product actually looks like. This is a relatively strong kind of fume product, so I do suggest using a mask when you are using this. Now we've got this Audi in front of me. We're doing a quick interior detail here, and I want to vacuum up this part of the trunk and show you guys very quickly where I would use a product like this where it comes in handy. So this is super subtle, and it might be difficult to pick up on in the camera, but what you see in the trunk of this Audi is that you've got the classic, traditional, kind of good, easy to clean carpeting on the bottom here, and then on the sides, you have the impossible carpeting, and at some level, this is gonna get damaged as things get put in and out of the trunk. And what we've got here is kind of this part that sticks out, and as things get put in and out, this always gets hit and knocked, and so these fibers get really matted down over time, they get really stained over time, and over time they get damaged so that even when they are clean, they come back not totally to like the original black appearance, and it's just a lighter color fabric right there. So this is gonna be extremely subtle, and again, it might be difficult to pick up on in the camera, but I'm gonna use this product, shake it up, and what I'm gonna do is very quickly, very lightly, barely spray over this area. And we're gonna kind of come in and see how much of this actually needs to be done, because this can be done incorrectly or too much, and you actually kind of dye things a little bit darker. But all I wanna do is restore this little area back just to blend it with the rest of the car, because it kind of sticks out when things are clean. It almost looks like a stained area, but it isn't. So this is about what it looks like. Now I'm gonna stop right there, and I'm gonna grab a microfiber towel, and I've dampened my microfiber towel with just a little bit of water, and what I wanna do is come over this area and just scrub kind of around the edges of the area to work to blend it, and you'll see I'll pick it up on my microfiber towel, some of that dye, and all I'm doing is blending this area in with the surrounding areas here. And no carpet dye, this is actually a good point to make, is gonna match completely any area that you're doing. So in part, you're just very subtly blending this area just like that. Now I want you guys to look at the side-by-side pictures here, because you can see it's a very subtle difference, and what happens with a carpet dye like this is you're never gonna get something totally perfect, because like I said, it's never gonna match the black of the carpet entirely, but you can strategically try to blend things to where when the naked eye is kind of running across an area, it doesn't pick out a stark contrast. And so what ends up happening is if you don't highlight to your customer that you actually used a product like this, they're never gonna know it was used, and you're never gonna notice this area. If you're just running your eyes across, you're never gonna point out this area because it's just kind of back to black. But is it just ever so slightly off in terms of the type of shade of black? Yes, it is, but it stands out far less than when that was matted down in kind of this light color that looks like it legitimately was stained. Now I want to bring you guys into another area of a car where a product like this can be really useful, and it's really these corner pieces of the impossible carpeting. So you can see, for example, right here, basically what happens is this is where the left foot of a person in the passenger seat sits, and it kind of is sitting right in that area where the floor mat doesn't cover it, and the floor mat is pushing against this area in addition to like the heel or the toe of a shoe. And so this area gets matted down, and you can see once again, you basically just have kind of this white splotch appearance right there that stands out when you're looking at the carpet. And I'm being super nuanced here because I'm trying to look for a reason to use this product so that I can demonstrate it to you guys and kind of show you why it's important. But generally speaking, I would wait for something more dramatic to use a product like this, but I just want to show you guys what this looks like in using it right there. So I'm going to take the product just like I did last time. I'm going to do one quick spray and basically just to visual see what I need to do. So I'm gonna do one pass, potentially a second pass here. So we're gonna come in just like this and go over it just like that. That's probably actually plenty for this area. We'll come back in and take a look. Now we'll come right back in and take a quick look, and you guys can see that it's super subtle once again, but we're trying to be very minimal in terms of the amount of product we're using here. And so you guys can see how this area is just ever so slightly blended back to that kind of original black appearance. And this is an area where it's a little bit easier to blend because you're just sitting in a corner. It's a little bit less obvious in terms of the difference of the shade of black, because in, for example, the trunk, you're kind of looking at like this flat plane, and it makes it a little bit more obvious that you're kind of dyeing something if you're aware that it's actually happening. But this area now kind of folds perfectly in with the rest of the carpet here. So a product like this is certainly not a fix-all for like things that are so damaged there's just nothing that can be done, but it is a very helpful product for a detailer like myself to have. When you're running into vehicles that are being used on a daily basis, you're seeing daily driver vehicles like most people drive, a product like this can really save you when you're detailing carpet and it's just too frayed or too matted or too stained from liquid spills that have been there for forever even after it's cleaned. It's a great way to just very subtly blend things back in, and it's something I always keep in my cabinets because of that. Now, I don't know that this product specifically is available on Amazon. I will try to link up any products like this below so that you guys can check them out for yourselves. And I will make sure to include this product in a future video as well, talking about how to use this on vinyl, because it does become very, very obvious when a product like this is used on vinyl to dye something permanently back rather than on something like carpet where you're dyeing something like fibers and it's a little bit more of a blending process. It's very subtle. It works very differently when you're using this on vinyl, which it is also a product for that. So if you guys want to check it out, check out the links in the YouTube description box below. And if you found some value here, make sure to dye that like button blue by clicking it so that I know you guys got some value and I can keep making videos just like this with some products that I think a lot of people don't really talk about on social media in the detailing world. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, keep working hard, and I'll see you guys in the next video.